Just imagine this. Day 1. You wake up and your first reflex is to reach for the phone beside your pillow. But there isn't any. Today, and for the next 29 days, you are living without any technology. No mobile phones, no internet, no electricity. There are no cars. Nothing from the last 200 years has been found. Sounds like a fun reality show challenge, doesn't it? But research in psychology and neuroscience reveals something far deeper. In 30 days, your body and brain will undergo a tangible transformation. Some are positive, some are surprising, and some can truly change the way you view life. So, what actually happens to modern humans if they are thrust back into a life without technology? Let's break it down, day by day, phase by phase. The first week is the most brutal. Scientists have a name for this: digital withdrawal. Dependence on notifications and digital stimulation functions much like a mild addiction. Every incoming notification triggers a release of dopamine in the brain, the same chemical involved in feelings of pleasure and the urge to repeat an action. When this source of instant dopamine is suddenly removed, the brain reacts as if it has lost something vital. On the first and second days, many participants reported a strange sense of restlessness. Their hands would automatically move toward their pockets, searching for a phone that wasn't there. Some even report something called phantom vibration, feeling like their phone is buzzing when there's nothing there at all. By day 3 to 5, clearer symptoms emerge: anxiety, difficulty concentrating, most interestingly, an incredibly intense feeling of boredom. The modern human brain has become used to constant stimulation. The moment that stimulation disappears, the brain doesn't immediately know what to do with itself. But this is exactly where things start to get interesting. Around day 5 to day 10, the body begins adjusting in remarkable ways. First, sleep patterns. Without blue light from phone and laptop screens at night, melatonin production returns to normal much faster. Many participants report falling asleep faster and waking up naturally without an alarm. Following the body's true circadian rhythm, waking with the sun, growing sleepy as darkness falls. Second, posture. Without hunching over a screen for hours, many people report less neck and back pain, when in reality it was the result of poor posture caused by technology. Third, and this is the most fascinating part, attention span starts to lengthen. Rapid scrolling trains the brain to expect new stimulation every few seconds. Without that kind of stimulation, the brain slowly retrains itself to focus longer, reading a book, observing nature, or simply sitting and thinking. This isn't magic. This is neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reshape itself based on new habits. In week 2, something more subtle begins to happen: the return of sensory sharpness. How long has it been since you truly listened to the sound of rain without headphones? Or really smelled the scent of wet earth after rain without a notification interrupting you? Without technology, humans begin relying again on senses that had been partly switched off. Hearing becomes sharper to subtle sounds around us: birds, wind, the rustle of leaves. Vision starts noticing small details: cloud patterns, the changing color of the sky, the movement of insects. Now for the part that's often debated: what about social relationships? Ironically, even though technology was created to connect people, research shows a correlation with loneliness. This is often called the digital connection paradox. We feel connected to hundreds, even thousands of people online, yet feel increasingly isolated emotionally. When technology is removed for 30 days, something interesting happens to social interaction. People are forced to interact directly, face to face, with genuine eye contact. Something psychology research shows has a far stronger impact than text or emoji-based interaction. By week 3, many participants report their conversations with family become deeper and more meaningful. Without the temptation to check their phone every few minutes, full attention is given to the person in front of them, a luxury that turns out to be remarkably rare in the digital age. However, it must also be acknowledged, there are moments of real loneliness, especially for those who rely on social media to feel connected to people who live far away. Not everything is romantic and beautiful. Some participants genuinely feel cut off from family or friends who live far away, people they could normally only reach through video calls or instant messaging. One of the most consistent findings across digital detox experiments is a surge in creativity. The human brain needs moments of boredom to process information and generate new ideas. Psychologists call this mind wandering. And it's precisely in these unfocused moments that many creative insights emerge. The problem is, modern technology is designed to fill every moment of boredom with instant stimulation. The second there's even a little empty time, our reflex is to open our phone. As a result, the brain almost never gets the chance to truly wander and process thoughts deeply. Without technology for 30 days, many report the return of old habits nearly forgotten. Drawing, journaling, playing music, even simply sitting and productively daydreaming. Some even claim to have found solutions to problems that had bothered them for a long time, precisely because the brain finally had space and time to truly think without interruption. Now let's talk about something deeper. What actually happens biologically in the brain? Brain imaging studies show changes in several brain areas, including the prefrontal cortex, the region linked to decision-making and self-control, and the dopamine system linked to motivation and pleasure. In the early weeks, the dopamine system undergoes a kind of reset. Because the instant source of stimulation is gone, the brain gradually adjusts its satisfaction threshold. Simple things: watching a sunset, finishing a physical task, enjoying a meal without distraction, begin to provide far greater satisfaction than before. This phenomenon is sometimes called a dopamine reset, a recalibration of the brain's reward system. Many people who complete a long-term digital detox report feeling more satisfied with their lives overall. Not because their lives changed dramatically, but because their own threshold for satisfaction changed. Of course, we can't ignore the practical challenges of living without technology for 30 days. What about work? Work depends heavily on computers, the internet, and digital communication. Experiments like this are usually only possible for people with extended leave or unusual flexibility. What about safety and health? Without emergency information, GPS, or fast communication, emergency situations become far riskier. This is a real trade-off, not just a romanticized return to nature. And what about information and knowledge? Without internet, access becomes extremely limited. A genuine trade-off. Peace of mind in exchange for sacrificing access to information. So, after 30 days, what's the biggest lesson? It's not that technology is evil. It's also not that we need to go back to living like cavemen. The deeper lesson is this: technology is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used wisely or excessively. Experiments like this show that the human brain and body have an incredible capacity to adapt. Whether we're adding technology into our lives or taking it away, what matters most isn't choosing one extreme, but understanding the real impact of our digital habits and consciously choosing when to connect and when to disconnect. Maybe we don't need a full 30 days without technology to get the benefits, but maybe we need 1 hour without our phone every day, 1 day a week without social media, 1 dinner without screens at the table. Because in the end, the more important question isn't whether we can live without technology, but whether we can live with technology without losing ourselves inside it. So, what happens if you live without technology for 30 days? In week 1, you'll fight against habit and anxiety. In week 2, your body and senses begin to recover and adjust. In week 3, social connections and creativity start growing in unexpected ways. And by the end of the month, many people discover a calmer, more focused, more present version of themselves, though with real, practical trade-offs along the way. Would you try this experiment, even just for a few days? Thank you for watching until the end. If this video made you rethink your relationship with technology, don't forget to like and subscribe to Saplania. See you in the next video! Subscribe to Saplania.